I recently did a photo shoot with a holiday theme. I wanted a warm and cozy feel to the photos, but they still needed to be a bit festive. So I figured that I should be sprawled in front of the fireplace. It was warm and cozy and a little bit sexy, but a little bit challenging too. So let's talk about why it was challenging and what I did to achieve the look, and then what you can do to achieve this look without a bunch of expensive equipment. The situation was this: a darkened room, a bright fire in the fireplace, and yours truly in front of the fire. I wanted to make sure that I was lit up, but the fire behind me wasn't too blown out, all the while keeping my surroundings fairly dim. The challenge was in dealing with those three areas because each had their own requirement. So I did two things to rectify the situation. One, I put a light on me. I have these small lights here. They are single light fluorescent light heads with a convertible softbox. And to get the light pointed directly at me without spilling everywhere else, I put them in this snoot configuration. Now, these lights aren't anything fancy. They are either on or off. And you could definitely use any number of lighting sources to achieve a similar look. Everything from a desk lamp to a work light to a higher end strobe with a snoot on it. If you do use something like a desk lamp or a work light, you might just have to play around with the positioning of the light to get the effect that you want. Okay, so now I have figured out that I needed a little bit of light on me, and that would balance me with the fire a little bit better. But now I need to worry about the camera. I didn't want the camera to meter for me. It may have chosen one of the three areas to create the proper exposure, and then the other areas may not have been exactly as I wanted, because I definitely had a picture in my head as to what I wanted the end product to look like. Like if it would have chosen the fire to meter on, it would have brought the exposure down, and I would have been too dark. If it chose me to meter on, it would have brought the exposure up, and then the fire would have been too blown out in the background. So I set the camera to manual mode and chose my ISO, aperture, and shutter speed accordingly. I knew I wanted a fairly wide aperture so that I could limit the depth of field. I wanted me in focus, but the fire out of focus in the background. And then I also needed to keep the shutter speed fast enough so that there was no motion blur. So that left me with ISO sensitivity to adjust my exposure. So I increased my ISO until I was satisfied with the exposure in my photo. Now, I do have a video on SnapChick.com about this shoot that is exclusively for my VIPs. It has more specific information, like exact camera settings, plus a bunch more photos from the shoot. The VIPs also have access to a gallery of images from this shoot. So, if you want to know more, head over to SnapChick.com. However, this should get you started if you want to do some of your own fireside portraiture. Happy holidays, everyone!